So it looks like we're good. I just restarted the stream, so we're back up again. Yep. Sorry, everybody who's watching for that little flub right there. So what's happening here is Dennis Pedersen, this is my normal Wednesday study session with Dennis, and Dennis is a really, really good, really good tournament player, but he understands Cardrunners EV very well. Actually, 2 weeks ago in a webinar that I had on how to study poker, Dennis actually took part in it. He did a little presentation, about 15 minutes or so, and showed the audience how to use Cardrunners EV. And so I just got the program. This is actually the demo version. I'll buy it eventually when I switch to my new computer. But Dennis is here right now. He's going to help me out in figuring this stuff out. You know, how to use it. So let's see what's going on here.
Okay, so so you want to look at some.
Yeah, what I was thinking, the first thing I wanted to look at was a common situation in tournaments, right? Let's say the undergunned player, and
well, first what you need to do, yeah, where it says tournament, click that to cash. There, we want it on cash because we want EV. We're not looking at ICM situations.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay,
and then I would go to you typically play 9-handed, so I would click 10-handed.
Click 10-handed. Okay, cool.
Okay. And then we're doing pre-flop, which is selected. Now you can pick the people you want in the hand.
Okay, good. So big blind and under the gun.
Yep.
And then so let's see, the blinds are, we could set the blinds at, let's say 500, 1,000. Cool.
Yeah, take the rake out, so put that at 0.
Gotcha. Cap?
Yeah, take that out.
Rake back.
I'm not sure if you have to put a 0 in there to make it sure. I would just put a 0 in there just to be safe.
Okay, cool.
Okay. You can store it as default if you want, but
well, yeah, next time. So set stacks right now. So it's the big blind and the under the gun. What I'm
just so you know, do you see the little star beside under the gun?
Mm-hmm.
Just those are the hands you selected. Just so you
Gotcha. Okay. What I want to see here. Okay. Oftentimes when you're getting near the money bubble, or just on the money bubble in a tournament, right? You have 12 big blinds, and you want to survive. You want to hang on. You don't want to make bad shoves or bad calls, of course. But sometimes what happens is you're in the big blind when you already have a little bit committed, and let's say the under the gun guy, he has, well, let's give him a little bit more. No, it doesn't matter. 8,000. He has 8 big blinds, right? We in the big blind have 12 big blinds. Whoops. Yep, 12 big blinds, right? So if we call him, even if we have what might be a good hand, if we call him like with ace-9 offsuit and we lose, we lost 2/3 of our stack. Now we're in danger of not making the money, right? So it's kind of a precarious situation. We don't want to lose and be in such a dangerous spot with a short stack, but at the same time, we have ace-9. He only had 8 big blinds. He could be shoving with any ace, any king, any queen at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I wanted to research right there. Like, what kind of hands should I call with out of the big blind in that situation?
Okay.
So we're assuming that everybody else just folded around to us.
Yep.
Okay. So the under the gun guy, he raises, and I want to say he shoves it in.
Yep. So go where's the double click on there.
Double click this. Come on. Oh, there we go. So 10,000. You said from the lesson you gave the other day, it automatically reverts to the maximum amount.
Yes.
If you type in something
put it over the amount, yeah.
Okay, cool. So my first option is to fold, of course, or I can call, right? And so say again.
Actually, you want the first option to call. So what you can do now is
I'll open it.
Okay, so click on the word fold. Just click once. Now click on the word call. Oh, sorry. Okay. Hit undo. So the top blue arrow under the word file at the top.
Oh, gotcha. Oh, so I can just undo anything, right? Okay,
yeah,
good.
I was going to show you how to swap something, but okay, so hit call.
Okay.
And then hit fold.
And then hit fold. Gotcha.
We're going to figure out what hands we're going to call with. So first what we want to do though now, so it's a pretty simple hand, right? You're having them, they're shoving all in and we can call or fold, right?
Totally.
So this is just as easy as it gets for cracks. So now we want to go to the under gun where it says all hands. And double click on there.
And give him a range?
Give him a range.
Okay, cool. Let's just do something here. And let's cut it back. He's definitely not doing 55%.
Well,
he's only got...
You see the top? It's got under the gun. On the
oh, interesting.
So you can start with that, and then you can add hands from there.
Okay, cool.
Or on the far right, it's got pockets, broadway, suited connectors.
Nice.
Yeah.
And are these people related in any way to Flopzilla? Do you know?
think it's the same guy. To be
Same
honest
guy,
with
same
you.
company. Okay.
I mean, everything looks very.
It looks exactly the same. I mean, the matrix looks the same. No weight up top. The slider here. I mean, everything is basically the same.
I think he probably made Flopzilla and then went one step further with this, is my guess.
Totally. It appears that way. Okay,
Or
so
like 100 steps further.
yep. Let's he's only got 8 big blinds. Oftentimes people are even shoving with aces and kings, just expecting somebody to call or someone else to go over the top to isolate them because they only have 8. So let's keep all of these in the range.
I would put all Broadways.
All Broadways too? Okay.
Just to start. So I'll show you why I would do that. So you're right now you're at a 16 and you're 8 big blinds. I mean, you're talking about on the bubble, so yeah, maybe he's going to hold back on some hands. But, I mean, you could even probably throw an ace-9 suited.
Okay.
You know, but,
I'm good with that.
That's a pretty tight range right there, I think, even for this situation.
I
mean, if you look at Nash, he should be shoving way wider than that, right?
Yeah. Oh, definitely, definitely. Even though he's on the, even though it's the money bubble, he should for sure.
Right, but we both know that's not how people play, right?
Yeah,
so.
totally, totally. So then I hit done, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
So
now you're going to go to your all hands.
Okay.
And double click. Now, what are you going to call with? Do you want to know a specific hand, or do you want to know a range?
Well, I was thinking, the hands that I was thinking about were like the ugly offsuit aces, and then I guess also at the same time, might as well look at the suited aces.
You can start like that, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm thinking like, I mean, I would probably call 7s and above. And then if I'm calling all of these aces, I guess I'm calling all of these as well. Probably calling these hands. Maybe not that one. Probably the king, queen off.
You should probably be calling off the Broadways. Put the Broadways in for now.
Okay.
Just because this way we can play around with it. I'll show you ways to play around. So let's say is that where or put all the pocket pairs in as well.
Keep all the pairs. Okay, gotcha.
And then I'll show you. So hit done.
Okay. You know what's funny in this instance? Normally, well, I mean, we might be changing this later. Normally, a good rule of thumb is your calling ranges should be, smaller than your shoving or betting ranges, right?
Right. Yep.
But right now, we're thinking that we'll be calling a wider range than we think he's shoving. But yeah,
it's always good because even though you might not want to call with a certain hand, you might find out that you're making a mistake by not calling with that hand.
Gotcha. Yep, makes sense.
So if you go to the bottom where it says EV calculate, bottom left, click on that.
Okay.
Oh, I did it very quick. Okay, so you can see the under the gun is making money and we're losing money. First, let's change something else. Go to the engine.
The engine.
Engine.
Edit number of simulations?
Yes. I would make that 1,000.
Make this 1,000 times 1,000. Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay, and then hit OK.
Do I change this also? Oh, that is 1,000.
That'll be like 1,000,000, and then hit EV. For some reason, did I calculate it again? Oh, sorry. Go back to engine.
Okay.
Disable.
Disable math engine.
Try that. Are you sure you want to? Yes. Now
okay.
Hit calculate.
Now calculate.
Is your computer like really super crazy fast?
I don't know.
Because mine, it pops up and shows like it's running the calculations. So maybe you just got a much faster
computer. It says number of simulations 1,000,000.
Yeah. So I think we're good.
So we're good. Okay.
Okay. So anyway, right here, the under the gun's making money on us if we're calling with this range and he's shoving with that range.
Yeah, definitely. So he's making 1.3 big blinds. We're losing almost a big blind with our range.
Now you look at that. Go back on yours. Now see. So you can kind of see which hands are negatives and which ones are positives.
Gotcha. So in my mind, earlier I had mentioned ace-9 offsuit is what I was thinking. And the reason why I was thinking that was right around the cutoff, but I guess the cutoff is actually between ace-10 off and ace-jack off in this instance.
We have to do something else. I'm sorry, I forgot. Go to under the gun.
Right here, yeah?
And hit fold.
Oh.
Now calculate.
Oh.
There we go. That's better.
Oh, because sometimes he folds and I win the pot outright?
We had it that he was always dealt those hands. So this is a good lesson, actually. So you can see the difference in the what that made.
So
we have him shoving 16% of his range. He's folding the rest.
Yeah.
Where we had him, he only ever gets dealt those cards.
Gotcha. Okay, that's interesting. Okay. And that totally changes it. Okay.
Now when you look at your range, if you hover over your range, no, just over your range. Yes, there. So you can see pocket twos is a fold.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're making it. That's how many chips you're making on all those, right?
Mm-hmm.
So your ace two suited is your ace suited. You should. How much is the big blind? 1,000.
1,000. Yeah. So ace deuce suited, I'm making almost a third of a big blind.
Yes.
By making that call right there. And the king 10 suited, can I ever, oh no, it disappears. Okay. The king 10 suited, what's the king 10 suited? 2/10 of a big blind. The queen 10, the jack 10, and all those offsuit 10s and the queen jack off, those are bad ones. I should not be calling there.
Right. So you can see which ones, and you can see the difference in suitedness, right? People, oh, there's no big deal. Look at the ace 8. Look at the offsuit aces to the suited aces.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What a swing.
Yeah, definitely a swing.
Suited is making half a big blind,
Whoops.
and ace 8 offsuit is losing chips.
It's losing chips, yeah. So when you look at this instance, let's say you were taking a note, on your notepad, what you can call with here. What would you say you would call with? Is it ace 10 off or ace 9 off? Which is the worst offsuit ace you would call? Like, how much EV are you looking for?
Well, I'll tell you what. Like you're saying, you're on the bubble, right?
Uh-huh.
And I think that most optimal strategy doesn't consider making the money a big deal.
Uh-huh.
But I think even from Alex and all his coaching, like making the money is a big deal. Like that's where you make money, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's why we're playing the tournament, is to make money. And if you just play willy-nilly and don't take the bubble into account, I think you're making a huge mistake.
I think so. So in that sense, you should be calling anything that's making a profit, right?
Anything. So even as far as that pocket threes is less than 1/10 of a big blind.
Right, but for me, I would want at least a half a big blind, at least.
At least a half. So pocket sevens is your cutoff.
Like pocket sevens is a snap call.
Gotcha. Ace 9 suited.
Snap call.
King jack suited.
Yeah, like those are the snap calls, right? Oh, king jack. Oh, suited. Yes, yeah.
And then ace 10 off and king queen off.
Because if you put it this way too, so make sure I'm doing this math right. So king jack suited, for example, is 0.8 of a big blind.
Yeah.
So big blinds per 100, that's 80 big blinds per 100.
Yes.
That's a lot of big blinds to be giving up if you're folding those two spots.
I gotcha. Yeah, totally.
I mean, so if you think of it too, king 10 suited is 21 big blinds per 100. That's a lot of big blinds to be giving up.
Huh.
Right?
Wait, are you sure it's 21 and not 2.1 big blinds per 100?
Sorry, I forgot to do the math on the 2.
Yeah, so you moved the decimal place over twice. So because this is 210 big blinds in one hand, it would be 2.1 in 100 hands.
Yeah, so it's 210 chips divided by 1,000.
Uh-huh.
It's 0.21 times 100. Yeah, it's 21 big blinds per 100.
Really?
Am I doing that math right?
Well, because it's only a 2/10 of a big blind, or 0.2 times.
0.2.
Oh, you're right. 20. Yes, I was going backwards. You're right. 20. All you gotta do is divide the number by 10.
Right, when it's 1,000 big blind.
When it's 1,000. Yeah. So we're looking at 21 big blinds. You're right. That is a good edge to be given up. I mean, if you were just playing cash games and making 21 big blinds per 100 hands, you would kill to get that win rate. You know.
Yeah. And I mean, now you can readjust your range, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or what I'll do too is like go into your range now.
Click on this.
Yeah, and just clear it.
Clear. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. And then just pick ace 9 offsuit.
Mm-hmm.
And done. And then calculate. And so you go to ace 9. So this is another way of doing it, right? So you can see it's making money, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're making 253 chips.
Yeah.
So a quarter big blind. So again, it's got to come into what we're. I mean, I don't know. Again, everybody's gonna have a different line where they want what's optimal. Like I'm sure there's high volume tourney grinders that tell you that you're ridiculous to fold there.
Really?
That's their range. Now the other thing we can do is we can go back into his range.
Uh-huh.
Because really, like 8 big blinds, that's too tight. He should be like shoving every pair and like at least down to ace 5, right?
Probably.
Let me pull up my chart, but check that out. See what that does.
Okay. So this is a 26% range now. Wait, did I hit the wrong? Wait a second. Oh. done. How come this isn't now 26.4%?
Oh, what? Sorry?
This range is now 26%.
Yes.
So I hit done, but this doesn't change to 26 right here.
Well, that's interesting.
What if I hit evaluate? Will it change? Okay, it changed. It changed. It was just stuck on that until you hit evaluate, I guess.
Great. So now you're only making 115 big blinds.
That's with the ace 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if we go back to, like, let's say we had a pretty strong range. All the aces. Put those ones in. That right there. Let's just say that was our range. Something nice and tight right there. Evaluate. Oh, we're not making all that much either here. 181 big blinds per 100.
Hover over your range?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so see, look at the...
Oh, we have the queen jack off, so that's one hand losing. Pocket 7s are making almost 2 big blinds.
Right.
By doing it. That's pretty good. Because we adjusted his range and we added some hands to it. So now our EV is higher in all the different, with all the made hands at least.
Right.
All the pocket pairs.
So what you can do with these is you can start even taking snapshots, right? Saying, I mean, this situation doesn't come up enough that you probably want to take this, but you know, if you're doing 3, you can find, okay, well, here's a profitable 3-betting from the small blind with 20 big blind stacks versus a 30% opening range, or you know, you can start to use these for notes for later on. What you can do too is you can save this file, so save this tree, so you could always come back instead of having to recreate it.
It's always there, and you could just adjust it in the future.
So under the gun, shove, big blind call.
Gotcha. Let's do something. Let's switch it up a little different. How do I exit this?
What do you want to do?
Just a completely different. I want it from like a button shove.
Okay, so pick file and new.
Oh, new. Oh, gotcha. Saved. Nah, don't need to save it. So new. So we got the same cash game. Oh, so oh no, it all reset.
Yeah.
10-handed. So blinds and rake. 500, 1000. Store as default. Okay. Set stacks. Under the whoops. Cancel. So not under the gun. Button and me in the big blind. Set stacks. Button is yeah. Let's give him the same. So he's kind of desperate right here, but he might not be so desperate that he's opening with a lot of junk. And then us in the big blind, we have something that can be damaged by him, but not as bad. 16,000. So, the button. When we start it, we're going to hit first. He has the chance to raise, and he has the chance to fold all the other hands. Yep. We're going to set his raise to be a shove. The full 8,000 chips. We select his range, which, from the button... Well, it's a pretty good size range, but yeah, I mean, he's relying on fold equity, plus the fact that I don't want to lose my hand, or I don't want to lose my chips, I should say.
Yeah, you can take some of those.
Actually, King 7 might stay in.
Yeah, take out like the 4-2, 3-2, 4-3.
Oh yeah, I was just looking at offsuit first.
That's probably more realistic right there, really. With 8 big blinds, you should be shoving most of those hands.
Yep, I would say so. 43% range right there. If somebody, realistically, if they're shoving queen 5, aren't they shoving all queens?
Suited, probably. I mean, yeah, I can't fault them for it on the button with 8 big blinds.
I mean, I would just assume if they're willing to go queen 5, they're going queen 4. I just don't see. I mean, for myself, if I'm going queen 5, I'm going queen deuce as well. I'm just basically relying on the fact that I have a flush draw, or no, I have a suited hand and it's a queen. Like the 5 kicker versus the 2 kicker, they don't matter. If my queen's going to win, it's going to win, and if my flush is going to win, my flush is going to win.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah. So that's how I see it, at least. Yep. Cool, so we've got that right there. Now my big blind, my option, of course, is to call. First option. I fold all the other hands. So the hands that I think I would call with. So 8 big blind guy shoves into me. I'm going to put him on a pretty wide range because he's trying to steal the blinds and the antes. Let's put him on...
Look at the middle position range.
Wait, say again? Oh, middle. Gotcha.
Just to take a look.
Okay.
That's At least, right?
At least this. But if I'm calling ace 5, I'm just calling all my aces because I know he has a lot of non-ace hands in his range.
Yep. Probably both the unsuited as well.
Yep. Oh, yeah, exactly. Calling all my pocket pairs. Calling down, I'm going to call there. I don't know how deep I'll go on the suited connectors. I'm not a fan of too many offsuit broadways. I might add king 9 in.
Well, this is where you find out, right?
Yeah, this is where you find out. But just originally, like, just thinking about it, if I was in this situation, I'm good with calling. I'm not so good with calling that hand. I don't think I would call there. I would probably call with a queen 9. Wouldn't be too happy about it, but my cutoff is between these two. So let's just keep the queen 9 in. Okay. I'm pretty good right here. I'm comfortable with this. I think most likely, just like we saw earlier, some of these aces won't be that good. Some of these small pairs won't be, but every suited ace will be good.
But think about it. He's shoving almost 50%. You're shoving 29%. You're way ahead of him.
Oh, definitely way ahead. But am I ahead enough to win like a half a big blind every hand? You know what I mean?
Right.
Yep. So done right there. We have the fold all hands. Let's see. Raise, call those, fold the rest. He folds. I think I'm good, right? I didn't miss anything?
Yep. Yeah, you got it.
Sweet. EV. So it looks like, oh wow, we only have 80. Well, not even a tenth of a big blind. And he wins 400 big blinds by making this play. Oh, only 100,000. So let's go to, was it engine, number of sim, 1,000. So now it's 1,000,000. Did it just, no, it didn't recalculate by itself, did it?
No. Now, if you go up to your big blind, the reason, you know why you're not making a lot?
To call odds. No, I don't.
Well, look at your range again.
Okay.
Go, up to the big, go right up to, oh, sorry, not there. Up to where it shows 86.16.
Oh, okay.
So I think what it is you're not calling wide enough. So that range versus his range, right? Where if you add more hands to your range, I think it'll go up. So what it's saying is you're not calling wide enough, I think.
What are all these hands right now that show negative, like King 8 suited says negative 136.7?
I'm not sure why it's showing negative because you folded them.
Oh.
So.
Okay, well, so let's test what you're saying. So you think I need to? We're at 86.86.
Yeah. So add in some hands.
0.086 of a big blind. I mean to say. So you want me to add some hands and let's see what happens.
Yeah. Add in all the kings.
All the kings for sure. Yeah.
Let's see.
Go down on the queens a little bit. Let's add some suited connectors and gappers.
Just see what happens now.
Yeah, so it's a pretty decent range right here. EV. 82.
See, it went up.
No, it went down. It was at 86.
Oh, well, sorry, that was 81. Okay, so
yeah.
that's not...
So, I mean, it went down a little bit. So it's only 0.08 of a big blind.
Okay, so go back into your range. Sorry, right there, yeah. Now look at where we're... So we could take out some kings. We could take out... Well, even pocket twos is doing pretty good. Where are we not?
Well, the offsuit Queen 9, Jack 10, King 7 off is no good. I'm sure these are no good here. Queen 9, we'll get rid of King 8.
And the King 5 down. Get rid of those.
Okay, King 5 down. All right, so let's try this one now. 33%. So that'll change the 33% once I hit EV calculate. 31%.
Went up to 86.
32.73. I don't know.
So now go to your range again.
There. Oh, up here?
No. Oh no, the other one. Below your call.
Oh.
Why is it not showing? Did you have to calculate? Oh, because you're not hit done. Now hover over it. Does that make a difference? Calculate it. Hover. Why is it not showing how we were looking at it before?
I don't know.
Oh, there. Oh, that's all blurred.
Yeah, it's weird, blurry.
Take all your suited connectors like 10, 8.
Get rid of them?
Yeah, get rid of those. Try it again. Oh, leave
Keep
those
the
in
pairs in? Okay.
Good.
So I hit done.
Calculate. 89 is going up.
Yeah, but just a tiny bit. So what do I really need to do here? I mean,
If he's
raising almost a 43.59, so he's raising such a big range. I mean, I'm only calling 30%. You would imagine that I'd be much more, I'd be making a lot more money or chips.
Put it back over the call.
Uh-huh.
Where are we? 10-9 suited, Jack-9 suited, but that Queen-8 suited, King-6, King-7.
Yeah, I can take those ones off.
This is interesting. Never. What else did we say? Was that it? Yeah, try that again. It's got us. It went down because we took out profitable hands. This is weird.
We have pocket aces. He has 40. Why is he so profitable?
Well, because part of why he's profitable is because
because we're folding so often.
Yeah, so 70% of the time he automatically, or 70% of the time he's automatically making money.
Mm-hmm. What if I call with a range that's really near his? I don't remember what it was exactly, but he had a really wide range. Something close to that. So what if my range was super big? No, even lower now, of course.
How many big blinds is it? 8?
8.
Let me check something here.
What if I called super narrow that under the gun range right there?
It's 8 big blinds, so if we're calling 8 big blinds...
Look, when I call with that super narrow range, I'm -18. I'm doing something wrong here. There's something wrong with the calculation somewhere.
Yeah, because I'm looking at an optimal shove chart where it shows if he's shoving from the button, 8 big blinds, we're in the big blind. It's showing like all pocket pairs. It's showing all like all queens suited, all kings suited, aces suited, down to Jack-6 suited, all aces and kings on both sides. Wow, like it's a really wide range.
Okay.
So I don't know why.
Button 8,000. Big blind 12,000, so we have 1.5 times his stat. Yeah. Button. His option is he's going to raise. He's folding all else. He is raising. I'm just restarting the tree, you know.
Yeah.
10,000 chips, so he's going all in for 8,000. The hands that he is doing it with is the button range. I'm not going to de-click anything. Let's just stick with that. In the big blind, I am going to call. Or I'm going to fold. Folding all hands. My call, let's just say I have a very narrow under the gun range. Whoops.
Oh, do you know what part of the problem is? Did you put an ante in?
No.
That's part of our problem too. Chips then should be in the pot.
Because we're doing antes, that's right. Well, can you put an ante in? I guess cash games can have. Oops, I hit save.
Oh, you can do it right there. Right. See where it says don't start over.
Okay.
See where it says extra money? It says blinds fit 501,000 just underneath your arrow. Yeah, hit that. Blind stacks, etc.
Oh, okay.
Like where you were just up. Go up.
Oh, this.
Yeah, right there. Blinds break stack sizes. Okay, and no, sorry, blinds and added chips to pot. So if it's 9-handed.
So 900.
What was the blinds 5? Yeah, sure. That's good. So that's going to make a difference too.
Extra money 900. Nice. So that's right. It's a tournament we're talking about. So we have to account for that ante money. So 8,000. This is his range. Calling. I'm not calling all hands. I'm calling. I'm not going to select randomly. I'm just going to, choose something that's already there. Folding the rest of the hands. Number of simulations should be 1,000 times 1,000. So we get 100,000 total, or 1 million. Simulations. So I hit EV. It's a little bit higher, but it's not great.
A little bit higher. It went from 80 to 300.
Well, I guess that's true, huh? Yeah, it is a good amount. You're right. And so his is so high because we're folding just way too often at 90%.
Yeah, you've only got a 10% range, so open that up.
Mm-hmm.
It's way too tight, right?
Mm-hmm.
There we go. this is where we went. That's what it was. It's just see how much like what a difference just the antes made. So put all the broadways.
Cool.
And even try that now.
Yep. So a 29% calling, folding 71%, or 28.72, whatever. Wow, that's even good. So we're defending so much more. So this is telling us we should be defending more. We don't need to call such a tight range because we're giving up our big blind plus all the antes to the short stack guy.
Right. Yeah.
I see. Now, can this tell us? Can this tell? So, with this range that I chose, we are at an expected value of 525 chips, right?
On average, yes.
Yeah. Can this tell us what range gives us the highest value right here possible? Like,
well, I think you have to figure that out yourself, right?
Okay, so it doesn't just automatically tell you. Like, if we look at this range, maybe if it could tell us, maybe we have to have Queen 9, Jack 9, and then King 9, and that will give us our most possible highest EV.
Well, I know that we aren't at our highest yet because if you look at this, only one hand of all of those hands is making less than a big blind per average, and it's 9-8 suited, and it's making 911 chips. So
yeah, so there's a lot more chips we can add that makes almost a big blind. Or
make it fair too, we should readjust his shoving range.
Oh, to be something more instead of that automatic. Okay, gotcha.
I just think that like a few of those little hands, you know, that let's make it. I think you can leave all the big cards like that though. Everything like
even that King 7. I think the King 7 goes all in there too. Yeah.
Yep. So now look at it because you just took out almost 10%, right?
Yeah.
So now let's reevaluate it.
626. That's good for us. He's at 700, which is still pretty good. 3/4 of a blind.
Yeah.
Not too shabby.
Our range again. Hover over our range.
Our range. Okay.
Look at that. We're still making crazy. So 9-8 suited finally dropped a bit, and 10-9 suited, right? But there's still like you got to get your Queen 9 suited, Jack.
Queen 9 and a few Kings. All those offsuits. We can go all the offsuit 9s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's add offsuit 9s. Let's even go the offsuit 8. Let's go these 3. See what happens. The Queen 9. We'll see what Jack 9 tells us. That was only 100 chips, so let's not add the 8-7.
I would add Queen 8 suited for sure.
Queen 8 as well. Okay.
Just all more because I'm curious, but.
Gotcha. Cool. So we're at 626, 649, even higher. Nice. Okay. So if we take a look at
Queen 8 suited is almost making a big blind. King 6 suited is making almost a big. We can go wider.
Yeah, we can go wider with the Kings, wider with the Queen, wider with the Jack also, right? Probably Jack 8 suited.
So look at all these hands right now.
Mm-hmm.
You're on 12 big blinds, didn't you put? Now think of how many of these hands would you snap call?
Well, oh yeah, there's not many. There's not many that I would snap call. A lot of these hands and all the ones outside I would snap fold.
Right, but these should be all snap calls.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. My intuition is a little I think this kind of program will I don't know, get my intuition more where it needs to be when it comes to these bubble short stack situations.
Exactly. Me and my friend Angelo were doing like 3-bet. So we would do raise call and raise fold calculations. And you would be amazed at some like pocket 10s. If you open like when you're on 20 big blinds or less and you open with pocket 10s or ace jack, it's almost impossible to fold profitably if somebody shoves on you.
Really?
Unless you know they're super, super tight.
Yeah.
You too much equity. And you need to see something to do all this math for you to see that, though.
Totally.
So there were some spots where I was like thinking too hard and folding hands, thinking I could get a better spot. But when you realize that you've got 40% equity against some of these ranges, you just can't be doing it.
Yeah.
You're giving away money.
Absolutely. That makes total sense. Awesome, man. Well, look at what just happened. So this is the highest we found so far, 660 chips. 2/3 of a big blind basically is what we're making here by making this call. We're almost even with his expected percentage or his EV in this instance. 660 versus 740 for him. This is probably as close as we're going to get, to even.
Now, the other thing that you need to take from this is we could consider ourselves to be both of these players. So now look at his range. Hover over his range.
Okay.
If we're on 8 big blinds, look at how much money you're making shoving these hands.
Wow, look at the queen 5 is almost one full big blind. So I should be able to make more going all queens.
Yeah. So if we think that the big blind is going to call that wide or that narrow, however you want to call it, then we should be shoving this wide.
Totally. And that dropped his down to 580, but we're up to 800 now by increasing it a little bit more there.
Yeah.
So let's look at that right there. Look at that. Even the 5-4 and the 6-4 are over a half a big blind profit.
Yeah. Almost
wow.
a big. Yeah.
And the 7-6 offsuit even? Holy cow. So we can profitably... So what was it at? 816. 890. Oh, almost a full big blind by adding more hands. He's down to 500 right there.
You want to see something interesting? Open it up.
Uh-huh.
And pick every hand.
Every hand. Oh, 100%? Okay. I guess I just scroll like this.
Across.
Yep.
Yeah. I bet you it brings it up. Boom. Look at that.
Wow.
Now, this is a theory thing. So think about it. We're shoving every hand.
Mm-hmm.
But he's holding 60% of his hands.
Mm-hmm.
So we win 60% of the time by default. We win 1.5 plus another big, like 2.5 big blinds when he folds.
Gotcha.
So you have to keep that in mind, that's part of where the money's coming from.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then the times he calls us, we're going to win sometimes. And when we do win those sometimes, we're going to win 2.5 plus our 8 plus, so what, 20 big blinds?
Yeah.
16, 18 big blinds?
Mm-hmm.
We're going to lose a shit ton of times too, right?
Yeah.
But the times we win, that's how it's getting this average.
Yeah. So at 8 big blinds, if somebody can fold half of their stack or more, we should be shoving 100%. Not half of their stack. I mean, half of their hands or more.
Yeah. And the lower your big blind, your stack gets, the more it's going to be. Like if you're on 5 big blinds, you should just shove any 2 cards, right?
Yeah. Even 700.
Yeah.
That makes sense because we're just basically chopping the small blind and the antes, which is 0.9 plus 0.5, which is 1.4, which is 700 and 700. You know.
Yeah, and then every time we race,
it's just 50-50 when it's 100% ranges. Yeah. That is so interesting. So, okay, so if he's raising 100% of the time, let's just say in the big blind, we know that he is. He doesn't give a crap. In this instance, it gets folded around to him. He's taking this chance. He's raising 100% of cans, right? Yep. What is our best range to call with?
Probably 90 or 80%.
You think so? Probably, huh?
That's my guess.
Oh, what did I just do? Did I click the... Oh, all hands. Oh, okay. So let's go. Let's just go like...
Usually, I think you should be calling about 10% tighter than them, right? Like, just raw. I mean, I'm just giving a rough estimate, but it might be higher at this point. Yeah, look. We're making more than him by calling with 90%.
Yeah. So 783. Let's switch this to 80%. I'm not going to be selective. Just go for 80% on the thing. So 783. Now it went down a little bit. So yeah.
So you're not calling wide enough for that.
No, we're not calling wide enough. What if we just go? Let's just see what happens if we go to 70%. One more 10% step lower. And even lower again, yeah. So that does make sense. Your optimal calling is roughly 10% less. What if we went only 5% less? 95% of hands. 755. I think it was best at, what was 90? Was it like 800 something? One more. There we go.
Oh, good. Perfect.
So 755, I think it was 800 something. Oh, 783, yeah. So 10% less makes sense.
Yeah. So like I say, typically if I think a guy's shoving in the button with a 30% range, I got to be calling with a 20% in the button.
That is a good note to make. That's a definitely good note to make for tournaments right there.
It changes with stack sizes too, right?
Yeah. I would imagine so, yeah. Well, so let's do that real quick. What if we had... Let's just make it... Oh, wrong one. Not blinds, stack sizes. Let's say the button he had a decent stack at 13 big blinds, right? What if we had 20 big blinds?
I would put him at 20 as well.
Oh, just 20, okay. So we're even stacked right here. His shove, he's just shoving it in. and so of course we're calling all in or folding the rest. Let's say that.
Yeah, just leave it at that range and see what happens.
Okay, gotcha. Wow. So as the stack size increases, he shouldn't be risking that many chips with a shove with the 100% range. As stack sizes get bigger, you should really narrow and constrict your ranges.
Right, but if we know he's shoving 100%, we still call him a 90.
Yeah.
We're making over a big blind.
Uh-huh. That's interesting. What if we didn't know that? So let's just say from his perspective, he's shoving 100%. But let's say what if we thought he was shoving with 40% of hands? So if we went to 30, a 30% range, let's just see what that looks like.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm not select per exact hands. But still pretty good. Almost a full big blind up, which is actually REV. He's going 100. We're only going 30. We're still making more money than him on average.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer to call with that.
Yeah,
range.
it's a no-brainer, yeah.
We want to put ours at 50% now.
50%, okay. You know, before the WSOP this year, I am going to do a ton of CREV work.
Yeah, you should.
Guaranteed. So,
you should be calling, so again, like it's...
Yeah, so as the closer we get to it, I mean, the more money we'll make as we get wider. But, you know, just thinking logically from our perspective, we don't know the guy. He knows he's capable of 100. We don't know that. We think he's capable of 60, so we call 50, and we're making a ton of chips in the process.
Do you see how important HUDs are now?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. HUDs are super important.
You know their shoving ranges?
Uh-huh.
You know?
Totally.
This is why I say it's people don't shove wide enough and they don't call wide enough.
Yep. It's just so tough okay. So think about me from my perspective, and yours too, probably before you ever did CREV and started doing a lot of studying, you know. We know that making the money is so important. So, of course, we want to play tighter because we just don't want to spew our chips. We've all heard horror stories, and we've seen in the World Series of Poker, you know, final table guys spewing their chips. They come in as a chip leader. They go out in 9th place, that kind of thing. We don't want to be that guy, so we necessarily tighten up all these psychological pressures. But I think learning this kind of stuff will get you to ignore the feelings and ignore your worries and just think about the numbers and think about what is best, what you've seen just numerically from all of this study and stuff. So I think that's why you're doing so much better in tournaments now, you know. And I think if I study this more, I'll be doing a lot better in tournaments too as time goes on.
Well, what it's really good for, again, like you say, my ranges are getting better with shoving and calling, because that's really what tournaments come down to. I'm finding is like the 20 big blind and under stack. You have to play it profitably or you're costing yourself money, right?
Mm-hmm.
So once I make these plays or don't make them, when I'm done my session, I mark them. If there's a spot where I wasn't sure what to do, or if I made a call and think, well, even though I lost the flip, did I make the right call? You plug it in to the CRV and you look and you say, well, it looks like I had 45, you know, like I was making 3 big blinds with that shove or with that call. I just didn't, like, you have to get lucky still, right? Like, you can't count on that one hand as the results of it being what determine whether you're happy with the play or not.
Mm-hmm.
Which is another whole ball game of the mental game, right? But
yeah, without a doubt it is, yeah.
But it makes it so much better. Like, I had that $500 satellite that I won a ticket to on the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up, I had 15 big blinds. I'm just estimating. There was about 15 big blinds. I hadn't really had a chance to play a hand, because I started shorter stack, and I had queen 10 suited on the cutoff, and I looked at my shoving chart and it was showing like 0.6 or something. It was a ridiculous amount of big blinds per 100. So I shoved it, and I got called by Jack 10 and Ace King. So I mean, I still made a profitable shove.
Yeah, even when you plug that in and you know what they had, it was still a good shove.
Yeah. You look at the range of what they would call with, it was still a good shove.
Mm-hmm.
It just didn't hit, right?
Yeah.
And I flopped the flush draw, and if the flush draw hit, I would look like a genius, right?
Totally.
So I would have been up to 45 big blinds or whatever.
Yeah.
That's why you have to make those plays with 15 big blinds.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sweet, and that's why you got to tag those hands too, so you can study them later, so you know for the future. You know.
Yep. Yeah.
Awesome. What does this green arrow mean? The equities at this end point.
That's the end of the hand. So if you take
just our range versus range, this is the equities?
That's the end point of the hand. That's where the hand ends.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just trying to show you an example. So hover over where it says call or the big blind node, and then pick. Can you pick check?
No, check's not an option because he raised.
Right. So say you had a spot where you didn't finish the hand, like it won't let you calculate until there's an endpoint. So a fold is an endpoint. So it's closed off. But if say that said check,
it would be a blue arrow like this, right?
Yeah, it wouldn't have an arrow, and you wouldn't be able to calculate the hand.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I see. This is a pretty sweet program, man. I'm gonna definitely have to. I gotta just play more tournaments. I mean, I've been so involved in cash now because tournaments just take up so much time, and I just don't have time to play. You know, I can't remember the last tournament I played online. Must have been a couple months ago. All I have is time is for cash. But you know, so have you done with these trees? I know this is the demo version that we're looking at right now. You have the full version. Can you do like a super complicated tree that has, you know, flop, turn, and river action starting at 100 big blind stacks?
Yeah, you can do multiple opponents, players, multiple decisions. We can't do it with your introductory software.
No. But it probably takes. You could probably just spend 30 minutes entering the information from all the different streets and what can happen, right?
Put it this way: me, Carlos Welch, and Angelo Spatero one night spent 4 hours setting up a tree.
One tree?
Yeah, just setting it up and discussing and making sure it was all good.
Oh my God! Before you hit calculate?
Well, we'd hit calculate a bunch of times. So we had to keep making adjustments.
You had to keep making adjustments until you figured out. Wow.
Yeah, like you can go deep into the rabbit hole.
Absolutely, man. I mean, I could do that on my own. I couldn't do that for a study group like me and you for 4 hours.
Yeah.
That's tough to do. I mean, I can't even actually do that on my own. I'd have to get it started, break away to deal with my kids, come back and do it again, break it away to cook dinner, come back again.
But this is what you want to do. Start with a pre-flop decision, then start with a flop decision, then a turn, start working your way up to it.
Absolutely. Yeah, so, that's a good question. So when you import a hand, let's say a cash hand, right, and your question is you're playing on the turn, you just set the play from the flop and the turn, or pre-flop and the flop, exactly what happened, don't make changes, then you make your adjustments on the turn.
Yeah, it'll show you what happened already.
Okay.
It'll set the tree up for you.
Gotcha. So you could put a hand that went all the way to showdown, but then you can delete what happened on the river, or showdown and river. You can delete that and just mess around on the turn.
Yeah, and you can take the flop, turn, river out, like what cards they were.
Awesome. So that's probably the best way to look at later street hands, right? Plug in something.
You can look at a hand you played and just hit calculate and see if you made a profitable play, right? Without knowing the outcome of it. Yeah. Gotcha. So if you plug in a hand, the whole decision tree will come up. You just hit that EV calculate, and it'll tell you these EV numbers right up top. Say it again.
If you import a hand, it's just going to automatically, once you hit EV calculate, the whole hand is laid out. The tree is laid out for you. It'll just give you these numbers here.
Yeah, it'll give you once you hit EV calculate, so it's showing all the EV of each play. Is that
Gotcha.
Yeah, so in this case, it's showing. It's easier to explain once you see a bigger tree.
Yeah.
Show the EV of each, like the raise, the call,
the
back, the fold, whatever, right?
Cool beans. How often do you actually use CREV now in your own study sessions?
I don't use it every single day, but I make sure that I use it at least once a week, and then usually more than that.
Good.
Yeah.
Cool.
Definitely when I'm doing hand reviews, I have it out because it's just so easy to find the math and see what you did was right or not.
Yeah, gotcha. Cool beans. Yeah, this is going to be something really interesting. Once I dive into this, it'll give me just a whole new way to look at my hands. Because normally, you and I used Flopzilla, we still use Flopzilla a whole ton to go through hands and assess how hands hit flops, turns, and rivers and equities at any one time. But this will just give you so much more information. I really, really like it. And it's cool how you can just quickly and easily mess with the different ranges and then see what that does to your EV, your expected value.
Yeah, next week we'll go deeper. We'll go on to a flop decision.
Sweet.
Kind of like we did in the webinar.
Yeah.
We'll start putting in like what if they shove with like top pair or a draw, etc. What would we call with that kind of thing?
Awesome. Sounds good. We'll definitely do that. I'm hoping by next week I have my new computer up and running, and I'll have the full version of CREV on my new computer. But if not, we'll just do it through, we'll share your screen for this.
Yep. Cool.
Cool beans, man. Alrighty, well, it's about 4 o'clock. Got to go take care of my boys. Thank you very much, Dennis. I appreciate your time today.
Yeah, man, anytime. We'll talk to you. Well, I'm sure I'll talk to you before next week. But
Oh, yeah, definitely over the next few days. Oh, and then, I told you my paperback's available, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm so happy about that. As soon as it becomes available in Amazon.ca, I'll order it and you'll be getting a copy. I wanted to buy you a copy for all the help you did in putting it together.
Awesome, man. Appreciate it.
Yep, sure thing, man.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the hard copy. That's always
fun. Me too. I mean, I just ordered my own copy today, so it'll be coming here on Saturday. So I just cannot wait to be holding my own book in my hands. Cool. It's amazing just knowing I have a book out there available, and I think it's going to be awesome holding it in my hand and having it on my bookshelf.
Just don't spill your coffee on it.
yeah, I know. Well, you know what? I got 2 copies, right? I got one copy that I'll use to thumb through. I might read through it and look for errors, and just one that I can actually hold and look through and reference. But I'm gonna have one on my bookshelf that I'll never touch. It'll be a pristine copy.
Awesome.
Yep. Alrighty, man. Well, I'm gonna get out of here. Go take care of my boys. I'll catch you later. Have a good night, Dennis. Oh, are you gonna play on ACR later on?
Not tonight, no, because tonight's study night.
Oh, that's right, study night. Cool. Then maybe I'll catch you on ACR tomorrow night.
No, tomorrow I'm going to Windsor for work, so I'm gonna go stay at Caesar's Palace and play some cards.
Awesome, man. Have fun. Some live poker.
Yeah.
Sweet. Alrighty, man. I'll catch you later.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Yep. See ya.